rules would have us believe that it's just a coincidence that the only choice for a nonpartisan officer of Parliament is a Liberal activist, and that it's also just a coincidence that she donated to the Prime Minister's own campaign and discussed an appointment with his closest advisors. And it's just a coincidence that two of her former employees now work for the Heritage Minister. Will the Prime Minister admit that this wasn't just a series of remarkable coincidences, but it was in fact the only reason why she got the job?
Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
As I mentioned many times in this House, Mr. President, we are extremely proud of our candidate for Official Languages Commissioner. Why? Because she has the experience and she also has the expertise to make sure that she will be a good Official Languages Commissioner. I'm proud of my team. I've been able to gather great people from across the country that understand the importance of official languages communities. And of course, I explained many times the process, and all the members of my team that have contact in the past with Madeleine Meilleur were not part of the process.
Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, this is becoming more and more clear, but to help the government out, the issue isn't Madame Meilleur's professional qualifications. What's at question is the Prime Minister's competence, because this appointment process has turned into a fiasco wrapped in a dumpster fire. When will the Prime Minister take responsibility, cancel Madame Meilleur's nomination, and launch a new non-partisan process?
Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
I'm glad to see that the member is recognizing finally the expertise and the experience of Mrs. Meilleur, because this is exactly why we decided to appoint her, because she actually had the knowledge and the experience to really make sure that she would be a good Official Languages Commissioner. And of course, the fact that she served in the past is something that we value, as we did so when we appointed the former Conservative Prime Minister, Kim Campbell, to be heading the nomination process for Supreme Court justices. So that's why we think we have a very good candidate.
The Honourable Member for Outremont.
Speaker, the Minister of Heritage made a significant claim in this House yesterday. She stated that Jerry Butts and Katie Telford did not discuss the position of Commissioner with Madeleine Meilleur. This contradicts Meilleur's own testimony at committee. So my question for the Minister is straightforward. Would she like to withdraw or correct her statement, or is she accusing Madame Meilleur of intentionally misleading this Parliament?
Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
I mentioned that many times. Mrs. Meilleur is an amazing candidate because she has a chance to serve 30 years and supporting the promotion and protection of official languages rights in this country. And of course, I would like to precise in the fact that never was there any discussions relating to the fact that she could become the Official Languages Commissioner, and that's why we're very proud of, and we will continue to support Madeleine Meilleur to become the next Official Languages Commissioner. Thank you.
Order. The Honourable Member for Outremont.
Duly noted, the Minister has just said that Madeleine Meilleur intentionally misled this Parliament. That makes her ineligible to be named to a high office like
The Minister led this process, and she said that it's an independent one, but we've learned that two members of the Minister's team previously worked for Ms. Meilleur. So I want to give the Minister the chance to give a clear and honest answer, and if she doesn't, then she is the one who will be misleading Parliament. Ready? Has the Minister ever spoken to these two members of her team about the nomination of the Official Languages Commissioner? The Honourable Minister. Mr. Speaker, I'm very proud of the process that we put in place, and I'm also proud of the fact that I was able to bring together a very strong team that helped me carry out my responsibilities. There are people who are experienced and who have expertise in official languages. They are people who did have contact with Ms. Meilleur. Well, rather, anyone who had contact with Ms. Meilleur in the past was not part of the team.
Jerry Butts and Katie Telford ne faisaient pas.
Jerry Butts and Katie Telford were not officially part of the process either, but they were indeed involved. Will the minister answer the question? Yes or no? Were her employees contacted in any way by her during the nomination process for Ms. Meilleur? Please answer the question. I don't think that the honourable member for Outremont wants me to answer the question, but I will give the floor. So I will ask him to direct his comments through the speaker. The honourable minister. First of all, I would acknowledge the fact that the member has often mentioned that Ms. Meilleur is a good candidate and that she had a lot of experience and expertise. And I would also like to reassure him that this process was carried out in an open, independent, and merit-based fashion. None of the employees of my team who had contact with Ms. Meilleur in the past were involved in that process. That's exactly what happened. Thank you.
Sure.
The honourable member for Outremont.
You know what else we found out today, Mr. Speaker? That when Madame Meilleur was interested in becoming an Ontario Liberal candidate, she bypassed the standard candidate nomination process. And do you want to know who pulled the strings so that she could be parachuted into a riding? None other than Jerry Butts. Well, no wonder they're such good friends. Does the minister not understand that the more she defends the partisan appointment made by the Prime Minister, the more she loses credibility? Will she do the right thing and recommend that Madame Meilleur be now removed from consideration as Commissioner?
The Minister of Canadian Heritage.
So, since Madeleine Meilleur has been such an important person in the protection and promotion of official languages rights in this country, including the protection of the Montfort Hospital and the creation of the Francophone Affairs Commission in Ontario, I wanted to talk about the awards and recognition she has been able to have, including the fact that she received the Order of Merit de la Section Droit Civil of the University of Ottawa, the Bastarache-Charon Award for the Common Law section of Université de Ottawa, the Officier de la Légion d'Honneur.
Order. Colleagues, speakers have long held that speakers cannot comment on the quality of questions or answers, other things said in this House. We simply have the powers entrusted to us by the House, including the enforcement of the rules. So I encourage members to follow the rules and not to interrupt when another member is speaking on whatever side.
The honourable member for Beauport, Côte-de-Beaupré, Île-d'Orléans, Charlevoix. We've learned that there are very clear links between the Minister of Heritage and the future Commissioner of Official Languages, even when it comes to the members of their inner circle. Former staffers of Ms. Meilleur are currently working under the Minister. These employees all worked closely with Madeleine Meilleur when she was Ontario's Attorney General and Associate Minister of Francophone Affairs. Will the minister cancel this nomination, or will we have to call for a public inquiry to shed light on this matter? The Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage. We're very proud to have found an excellent candidate. We were looking for a candidate to be Official Languages Commissioner, and we wanted to find the best candidate. That's exactly what our process allowed us to do. We had a short list that I received. I had the opportunity to conduct interviews and to see how, in fact, her 30 years of experience and expertise were really shone through. And it was a clear choice, and I'm very glad that she was the candidate selected. The honourable member for Beauport, Côte-de-Beaupré, Île-d'Orléans, Charlevoix. Do you remember the game show in the 70s in Quebec called Guess Who's Telling the Truth? Well, that's what we've been seeing since May 15th. The minister assures us that Madeleine Meilleur never spoke to Mr. Butts or Ms. Telford. And yet, on May 18th, at the Official Languages Committee, Madame Meilleur said that she had spoken to Mr. Butts about the positions of Senator and Commissioner, and she had had a coffee with Katie Telford to discuss the same thing. Will she apologize for having misled this House? once and for all.
Ministre, écoutez-moi, Canadien.
The Honourable Minister. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased that my colleague is talking about Ms. Meilleur, because when I had the opportunity to talk to her about her potential nomination, she mentioned that Madeleine Meilleur was a good candidate and that she had a lot of experience and expertise. My other official languages critic in the NDP also acknowledged the same thing. So clearly, Ms. Meilleur is a good candidate. The process was followed. The staffers in my office who had worked for her before were not involved in the process, and everything was done according to the rules.
Wellington.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. We know that Madeleine Meilleur met with Jerry Butts and Katie Telford. Why? She told us in committee. Madeleine Meilleur confirmed that she met with both of them. But yesterday in the House, the minister said, oh no, that never happened. Was the Minister of Canadian Heritage misleading the House when she said so? It's time for the truth. How many times did Madeleine Meilleur meet with members of the PMO before being appointed as the nominee for the Official Languages Commission?
Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
As I've said several times, Mr. Speaker,
Important awards that Mrs. Meilleur was able to gather during her amazing career, including something that the Conservative Party will actually like a lot, the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal in 2012. She even received the Order of College of Social Workers of Ontario in 2009.
Order. This is a good way to shorten question period, colleagues. Order. The Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
And so I'll just continue. I was saying the Order of Merit of the Association of French-Speaking Jurists of Ontario in 2007. L'Ordre de la Francophonie de Prescott-Russell en 2006.
that was in 2006.
Le Réseau socio-actif des femmes francophones en 2002. Community Builder Award, United Way, 2000.
The Honourable Member for Perth Wellington.
Well, thank
Order.
you, Mr. Speaker. We're not talking about the awards that she received. We're talking about the rewards that she's being given for being nominated for being a Liberal donor. Now, Mr. Speaker, let's talk about her time. Let's talk about Madeleine Meilleur's time as an MPP and a Liberal cabinet minister. Her Director of Communications is now the Minister's Director of Communications. The Director of Policy was the former Executive Director to the Kathleen Wynne Liberals. The minister claims she set up a firewall, but I have a sneaking suspicion that firewall is as flimsy as the minister's answers in this House. Will the minister provide evidence that this firewall actually exists, or does it exist at all?
Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
Well, I'm glad to see that my colleague recognized that she received many awards, like I was just saying to him. And not only that, actually, Mr. Speaker, the fact that she won so many awards was based on the fact that she had lots of accomplishments in her public life. And that leads to the question of the importance of being able to give importance to public service. And to that extent, I would like to understand the point of view of the Conservative Party. So it's not okay to appoint a person that has served in the past, but it is okay to appoint a former...
The Honourable Member for Barrie Innisfil.
If I was a minister, Mr. Speaker, I would have spent the last 24 hours getting my story straight with Madame Meilleur, but government's playing fast and loose with the facts when it comes to this appointment. Rules have been broken, and at least one very qualified applicant was completely ignored in favor of a Liberal friend. And yesterday, we heard the contradicting versions of the same event. This is not going to end well, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, why is the minister continuing with this farce of a process, and why is she not shutting it down before she and the Liberals do any more damage to the integrity of this Parliament?
The Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage.
As I was saying, Mr. Speaker, of course, we value the importance of public life, and we value the experience of Mrs. Meilleur. And that's what was shown to the fact that we had a very thorough process. Now, since we value the importance of public service, we appointed also the former Conservative Prime Minister, Kim Campbell, to be in charge of a very important process, which was one to appoint Supreme Court justices, the first time that they ought to be bilingual, because we believe in the importance of official languages. So since we're valuing public service, it's just normal that Mrs. Meilleur is our candidate.
The honourable member for Barrie Innisfil.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the so-called open and transparent process is anything but. Key staff members who worked for Madeleine Meilleur at Queen's Park are now working in the office of the Minister of Heritage. And as scary as it sounds, it's as if the Liberals at Queen's Park are a farm club for the bigger in-debt and deficit Liberal club here in Ottawa, managed by Jerry and Katie. Mr. Speaker, will the minister do the right thing and finally admit how many times Madame Meilleur met with PMO staff and her staff before they gave their Liberal friend and donor this appointment?
How many times?
Minister of Canadian Heritage.
So, since we're talking about the importance of her expertise and experience, and because I've already given many explanations regarding the process, I would just like to talk about what has been her participation in association and organization. So she's been a member of the Association of French-Speaking Jurists of Ontario. She's been Regional District of Ottawa Carleton Health Board. She's been on that. She's been on the Board of Director of the Cité Collégiale. She's been on the board of the Vanier Housing Corporation.